From Gloucester County College, Comcast Cable Channel 5 presents High School Wrestling tonight, the District 29 Finals. Hello everyone, with John Vogeting. I'm John Mondelli. Voge. The finals tonight, Paulsboro sending 10 in the finals. A number of their wrestlers going for multiple district championships. Brad Holmes, the big winner today in the semifinals with his win over Rislow of Deptford, a defending district champ also. He's going for his second district title.
Right, and that's going to set up an interesting finals bout tonight, because it'll be Holmes of West Deptford and Lopez of Paulsboro. And Lopez won that match in the regular season, but this is the postseason. Stakes are a little bit higher here, and the gold medal is on the line. And of course, Brian Tracy going for a fourth district title. Only 66 wrestlers in the history of the districts have accomplished that feat going into today all throughout South Jersey. And of course, 10 wrestlers have accomplished that feat in Paulsboro history. So Tracy would become number 11 should he win his fourth district title.
And we have nice representation from all the schools, I think, except for Gloucester Catholic, at least having one in the finals. It's nice to see Glassboro, who struggled in the Dome Meet season. They have somebody in the finals, so it'll be a pretty interesting night.
It'll be very interesting. And of course, as you mentioned, with the returning district champions, Jeff Hamilton is in the finals, Eddie Wertenberger's in the finals, Alex Silvestro, Demetrius Hester. So there's a lot at stake. And of course, this is our ticket to the regional competition, which is the next step to get into Atlantic City for the state tournament.
Let's talk about Holmes from West Deptford. He had a tough match against Rislow, had to go to overtime. He avenged the loss in the dual meet season there. Lopez beat him this year in a dual meet. They split last year. How do you see that affecting this match tonight?
I see that match exactly like the Rislow and Holmes match. One mistake is going to make the difference in that match, in my opinion. Now, in the dual meet, I think Lopez was in high gear, a non-stop type wrestler, and he had the advantage in the dual meet. Holmes remembers that, and I think Lopez will have his hands full tonight. Can Lopez win? Certainly he can. Can Holmes win? Certainly he can. So it should be a great bout.
Okay, we're going to have all the action coming up next, right here on Channel 5. John Mondelli with John Vogeting, District 29 Finals from Gloucester County College. Voge, one of 10 Paulsboro wrestlers in the finals. Freshman Eric Dunnett, who is 25-4 this year, against the sophomore Ryan Kizatef of Gateway, who is 22-4.
Very impressive couple of youngsters. Eric Dunnett burst on the scene this year, and as you mentioned, 25 wins out of 29 matches. Kizatov, a sophomore, 22-4 this year, 24-8 in 2 years. Eric Dunnett being coached by Paul Marina, who earlier got the Coach of the Year award, and oh my, look at this early. Oh, brother. Oh my.
These two wrestled earlier in the year, Voge, when Dunnett pinned him. Almost had him there.
3-point near falls. That's a 5-0 lead right off the bat for Dunnett. Give Kizatov credit for getting out of that. Oh my. Mentioned that Paul Marina, the coach of Eric Dunnett, was selected by the other coaches in this district as the District 29 Coach of the Year. Kizatov being coached by Chuck Lucas, former Gloucester County College head coach, former assistant coach there, former assistant at Gateway. A regional champion back in '74 for Gloucester County College, and a district runner for Woodbury back in 1966.
It's going back there, Voge. It's going back there. 7-1, another takedown.
Paul Marina, of course, two-time District 29 champion, a Region A champion in 1977 when he finished second in the state. And interestingly, this year, he went over 400 wins in his coaching career at Paulsboro. Now has 418 wins against 18 losses.
Pretty impressive, folks. Pretty impressive. 7-1 lead for the freshman. How about Kizatov? Nice comeback from last year. Last year as a freshman was 2-4. So a nice turnaround. Got his feet wet a little bit last year, not coming on the scene strong this year. And
Kizatov was the number 2 seed going into this tournament. Opened up with a fall over Shane Layton of West Deptford. He got a fall against Anthony Knauer of
Gloucester Catholic, the number 3 seed, done it. 38-second pin in his first match against Alex Hurst of Glassboro, and a 143 fall against David Scafidi of Clearview.
He's going to get 3 more back points. He's going to have a 10-1 lead after the first period. Coach, I've been noticing this is one of the later starting districts. You like the districts that go to the early start?
Me personally, no. I'd rather see it start earlier. I'd like to see an 11 o'clock semifinal start. I'd like to see something like a 3 o'clock.
How about
consolation?
I would say Conti's right after the semis.
Yeah, well, you
get right into them.
Give the people just a little bit of breathing room. Give the wrestlers just a little bit of rest. But they're anxious at this time of the year. I think they're ready to go. And a lot of districts have changed to an earlier starting time, and I think it might be beneficial to the wrestlers to an extent.
Heck, if I'm going to finish 4th, I want to be a couple hours closer to my hamburger.
Well, don't forget, the 4th place wrestler still has to hold weight for a couple days in case the 3rd place wrestler.
Oh man, look at this, folks.
My. Here comes the signature move, the figure 4 in the head. If he locks his leg, oh my. Just got to be careful with that figure 4. It can't slip off into a scissors, then it becomes illegal. Oh my.
There's the pin.
It is. 2:52, time of the fall.
So there's his first district title as a freshman. Nice place to get it.
Yep.
And his teammates all around him to congratulate him as we get ready for 112 pounds. A couple impressive wrestlers from the Tri-County Classic Division. Here, Nick Uva of Glassboro, 26-5. Tony Cacileone of Pittman, 28-3. Here's that one move, Vogue. Watch this.
Watch him crank him over here. You see him bar the arm behind the back. When he bars the arm, he'll step through. He'll walk it around. Gets a figure 4 in the head. Here it comes. And when he gets that, it's near curtains. Oh, my.
Cacileone of Pittman, only 3 losses. He lost to Layton, who's going at 119 tonight. And one of his other losses to Stanley at Timber Creek, who could be favored to win this title at Region 8.
Cacileone, a junior, the number 1 seed in this weight class, 28-3, coming into this match, 46-8 in his career, 4th in this tournament last year. Cacileone, his opponent, the freshman, very impressive freshman from Glassboro, a number 2 seed, 26-5 this year.
Nick Uva, by the way, votes the winningest freshman in Glassboro history. He passed Mark Somm with his winning the quarterfinals.
And we remember seeing Mark Somm so many times in the District 29 tournament. Uva advanced with a 12-5 win over Joe DiMatteo of Deptford in the quarterfinals by 7-2 over Mike Mucci of West Deptford, who come back to place 3rd. Cacileone won by forfeit in his first match by a 33-second fall, so he only wrestled 33 seconds coming into this match.
And he gets the takedown.
Takedown and a 2-0 lead.
Let's talk about the coach. It's interesting because the Pittman coach has a little Glassboro blood in him, Vogue.
Billy Chiaffi, the Pittman coach, was quite a wrestler for Glassboro back in the day.
Look over his shoulder right there.
Went to Gloucester County College and Glassboro State. Totaled over 100 wins and was an All-American at Glassboro State back when they had wrestling. Won a couple Tri-County county championships with Pittman.
Looks like we're going to see Cacileone let him go. Now 2-1. First period, 40 seconds left. Cacileone taking a shot. Uva trying to fight it off that go out to go back to the center. A little Paulsboro blood in the corner of that Glassboro bench.
Glassboro being coached by Frank Daminger, a former wrestler at Paulsboro High School. So both former adversaries in Group 1, Paulsboro and Glassboro, graduates of those 2 schools, are in the corners respectively for Pittman and Glassboro.
Out of space, we'll go back to the center. Still a 2-1 lead, 112.
Cacileone's been here before, so he knows what it is out there. Uva in his first shot as a freshman Castiglione trying to spin behind. They go out of bounds. Orville Wilson is the official on the mat, being assisted by Tom Reynolds.
There's
Frank Damager
on the left.
Yep.
Uva defers.
Frank Damager being assisted this year by I'll find it in a second.
Got to grab that right sheet there, Vogt. So we start period number 2. Castiglione on the bottom. And he gets right out.
Frank Damager assisted this year by Steve Smith and Matt Smaricchio. Billy Ciaffi assisted by Lou Fowler and Jim Graham, former Pittman and Washington Township wrestler.
A warning against Uva for backing up. Castiglione's taking the shots.
And a 3-0 lead for Castiglione.
Of course, Vogt, after today, we have a couple more matches. We have the Region 8 tournament, we have the state tournament, and then we'll wrap things up at St. Mark's High School in Delaware with the South Jersey Delaware All-Star match.
Seniors Classic.
Seniors Classic, as you call it. I call it the South Jersey Delaware All-Star match.
Out of bounds they go. Uva very close to getting a takedown, but out of bounds they went.
3-1 lead for Castiglione. Uva can't quite get in on Castiglione, Vogt. Tries to take the shot there, reach in and grab that ankle.
45 seconds left in the period. Out of bounds they go. Interestingly enough, that district champion for Paulsboro in the opening bout was number 327 in their history, which is really fascinating. Last 5 years, they've averaged almost 7 champions a year in District 29.
Uva taking the shot here.
Castiglione with the experience knowing how to fight it off. No matter what Uva tries, Castiglione has an answer. Shrugs and gets in on the legs himself.
Uva's telling us when he doesn't wrestle, Vogt, his favorite pastime, baseball. Baseball season right around the corner.
As soon as the weather heats up a little bit, got to be stinging your hands to hit a ball in this kind of weather.
50 degrees, Vogt, was great today. Third period, we get ready for 2 minutes left. If Uva starts on the bottom, tries to stand up. Nothing yet.
Now he's got a point.
Got the one here. It's now 3-2.
And Uva's got to solve Castiglione and try and take him down.
Remember the stall warning on Uva.
Reminder, all
1:45 to go.
Be ready at the end of this match.
They announced the team scoring going into the finals. Paulsboro a given with a team championship, but Clayton, Pittman, and West Effort all battling for that runner-up spot. You see a stalling warning against Castiglione.
Actually, a point for Castiglione is on Uva.
I'm sorry.
4-2.
42. Now a takedown is absolutely necessary.
And now Damager talking to Wilson, but he can't be questioning the stall because you're not allowed, right?
No, it's a judgment call, and in his judgment, there was stalling.
I think they're deciding what diner to go out to tonight after the match.
And who's picking up the tab, too.
Right. Well, the officials make pretty good money.
That's true. Frustrated Coach Damager sitting in the corner.
leg, he's going to run out of room.
Well, and Cochleone does the right thing. You know, he's getting on the line there, so if you do take a shot, you're running out of room on the line. Minute and 10 left. Uva's got to try and decide how to get a hold of his man in the middle.
Tried again to spin around and get it.
Cochleone reacted to it very quickly. Blocked the attempt.
How about Cochleone this third period? Because he's hit for stalling. I'll tell you what.
Well, there's a warning right now.
How am I there, Vogue? Asking about that, and then bang, hits him.
Uva, out of bounds they go.
41 seconds.
On that throw, and his toes come down inbounds. He would have had a takedown, but they were out of bounds.
So now both wrestlers got to be active.
Yeah, both of well, one stalling point's been given up and one stalling warning's been given. Cochleone has the advantage here. If he can take his man down to the mat, he'll get two. Out of bounds they go. 23.2 seconds remaining. Do or die time for Uva.
Uva taking a shot again. Cochleone fights that one off.
Using his height to an advantage there. He's got his legs back. Uva in on the legs. Cochleone stands up and fights it off.
Just can't finish that takedown.
Nope.
Stall warning. It's now 4-3, but he's going to run out of time. Tony Cochleone with a 4-3 win over Nick Uva. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the 119-pound weight class after this timeout. As we see Paul Marina, Voach talked about him, 418 career wins. It's 119-pound weight class. Eddie Wartenberger of Paulsboro coming in at 25-4, going up against Ryan Layton of Clearview with a record of 23-4.
And of course, Ryan Layton, the number 2 seed in his weight class, 23-4 this year, 49-9 in his career. First in this tournament last year at 103 pounds. Eddie Wartenberger, the number 1 seed, 25-4 this year, 75-24 in his career, and first in this tournament at 119 pounds last year. So Wartenberger not only the defending champion, but the defending champion in his weight class. Ryan Layton, a returning champion, moving up 2 weights. Wartenberger opened with a 143 fall against Kevin McCluskey of West Deptford and had a 358 fall against Dustin Overs of Gateway, who came back and took 3rd place to advance to Absegami. Ryan Layton, the number 2 seed, opened with a tech fall over Scott McCord of Pittman, and then he won 4-1 over Kevin Bittner of Clayton.
Well, Layton has 4 losses this year, one of them to Wartenberger, 8-0 in a dual meet between Paulsboro and Clearview earlier in the year.
And as we mentioned many times, once you've lost to somebody in 1 year, it's awful tough to come back and beat him a second time. They start to get familiar with you and know your moves. Wartenberger trying to spin behind, trying to get the 2.
No takedown, they go out. We'll reset with 45 seconds left.
John Marinelli, the coach of Clearview, the gentleman coach, Absegami High School graduate who was 2nd in the districts. His assistants are John Weisburn, Mike Reichert, and Mark Maraca. Of course, we mentioned Paul Marina earlier at 103 pounds, and he's as a plethora of assistant coaches, among them Dean Duca, Nick Marina, Steve Anashevsky, Tony Chiller, and Carmel Marina. That championship for Cochleone was the 31st district championship for Pittman High School.
Down to the final 10 seconds there, we see John Marinelli.
On the right, in the white shirt. His father, of course, Art Marinelli, who, by the way, this year, Mondelli, will be inducted into the New Jersey chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in September.
Is that right, Vojeding?
Yes.
And by the way, we mentioned Layton losing to Wartenberger. His other losses, Frank Dolan of Cherry Hill East 7-3. And he lost twice to a freshman phenom, Vogue, Anthony Luma of Egg Harbor. He got tech-falled 18-2 in his other match against him. He was pinned in 3:19. Luma, a freshman at Egg Harbor, Vogue, 25-0. I'm sure we're going to see him next week.
Oh, yeah. There's a minefield waiting for these wrestlers down at Otsagami. You get the best of districts 30, 31, and 32, and it's not going to be any easy sledding down by any stretch of the imagination. Württemberger on top in a scoreless match. Those points that Castiglione earned for Pittman have put them at this point in the second place in this race. Paulsboro in first with 220. Pittman now in second with 128.5 points.
Württemberger working on top, though. He's got to keep working for the pin, Vogue. And of course, Layton's got to work on the bottom.
There's the stalling warning on the bottom wrestler. A lot of times when you have won a district championship prior to try and go out there and repeat, the pressure mounts. As we said, especially since they've wrestled earlier this year with each other. Württemberger trying to run the half. Layton reaching back. He has a height advantage on Württemberger. Layton reaches back. He's got to be careful not to grab the headgear, because he does. That's a penalty point. Tom Reynolds is the referee on the mat. Jamie Casey, the assistant at this point.
Final 30 seconds. So Württemberger doing his job so far. I'm sure he'd like to get some back points. Layton would just try and get out. It's a big point waiting for either wrestler right here, Vogue.
Extremely big. 24.2 seconds left in the second period of a 0-0 match. Württemberger again controlling the momentum on the top. Layton again reaches back with it, grabs the head. Württemberger's in trouble.
6 seconds, still no points awarded to either wrestler. And I'll tell you, Württemberger's going to hold on, Vogue.
Well, he battled it off. Very easily, a lesser wrestler could have been reversed or at least given up an escape at that point.
First, Ryan Layton last year, decision Josh Klein of Paulsboro 6-2. Württemberger beat Josh Means of Glassboro 13-5.
Of course, one thing we don't want to see here in this match is an overtime match.
It's caution.
Caution on Württemberger, coming off the bottom a little bit too quickly. Württemberger up to his feet, trying to get wrist control, hand control. Spins away, gets the escape. Again, a 1-point lead is a perilous lead. Württemberger does a nice duck under, spins behind, gets a takedown. That's like one of your favorite moves, Mondelli.
Oh, absolutely. I like the ankle pick.
I'm told you were quick in your day.
Oh, yeah. These favorite pastimes, Württemberger's favorite pastime, though, is watching the movie Hollywood Nights, which I just happen to have in my DVD collection at home.
There you go.
Layton likes to go to the beach and go fishing, and he's got a Württemberger a little bit of trouble right here, folks.
Big trouble. He's got a reversal. He leans back. He'll get back points.
3-2.
Württemberger battles down to his belly. Comes up. He's got to try and move at this point.
112-pound place winners, be prepared. 112-pound place winners.
3-2 Württemberger with a minute to go.
Württemberger trying for the reversal. We'll go back to the center.
Yeah, he had a potentially dangerous hold called there. Layton looking to the corner to see if she should cut his man loose.
John Marinelli over to talk to Tom Reynolds. I think all the coaches, all the officials making sure they know who's paying for dinner after this. And of course,
under a minute left. When he starts down, has to remember he has the caution, so He's got one more free caution before it can cost him a point. Layton getting very aggressive out there. Try the far side cradle. If he pulls him back, he could get back points. Wurtenberger trying to control the wrist. Again, Layton dominating right now on top. Wurtenberger's got to keep moving.
Well, Layton, I was going to say, not intimidated by that Paulsboro colors and the fact that he lost 8-0 earlier.
Yep. That's what I say. The second time around, familiarity breeds contempt.
And both guys have been in this situation last year, have been on this mat.
There's a caution on Wurtenberger. That's the second caution. The next one is a point. Wurtenberger has to relax out there.
18 seconds. Wurtenberger stands up.
Tries to go to a switch. Layton counters it.
I was wondering if he should have cut him, Voj, but 50 seconds left. What did you think?
Well, Wurtenberger got the, I think had a little bit of the advantage on his feet. Wurtenberger ends up winning 3-2. And a second district championship for Eddie Wurtenberger, the junior.
And then we get ready for 125 pounds, Voj. And we talked about this, I guess, during the year, during our high school wrestling show. By the way, a quick plug, which airs every Wednesday at 7:30. Actually, only a couple more weeks left. Anyway, Nico Lopez and Brad Holmes. And talk about guys that are familiar with each other. They wrestled a few times last year, a few times this year. So they're familiar, or actually this will be their second time this year.
Yep, no givens here.
Well, if you remember last year, Holmes beat Lopez 14-7, and then Lopez came back and beat him for third place in the regions. This year in the dual meet, Lopez won that one 7-3. And of course, Holmes with that big win, avenging a loss he had earlier in the year to Rislow by winning in the semis over Anthony Rislow 4-2 in overtime.
In as exciting a match as we've seen, Lopez, the number 1 seed, had a 149 fall over Anthony Sika of Clearview. Then he beat Eric Smith of Pittman 8-1 to advance to this point. As you mentioned, Brad Holmes, the number 3 seed, an 8-1 opening round match, win over Steve Lawrence of Clayton, and then the 4-2 overtime match against returning champion Anthony Rislow. So Holmes a returning champion here. Lopez a returning district runner-up. John Craig, the coach of West Thetford, stepped in after there was another coach here at the beginning of the year. His career coaching record 13-3. West Thetford ended up 14-5 this year, but when Craig took over the rest of the way, 13-3. District 29 champion, second in the region, fifth in the states. When he was a senior wrestler, John Craig went to York College of Pennsylvania. 92 wins on a high school career, 70 wins on a college career. And of course, not a teacher in West Thetford.
Police officer, I believe, Voj.
Police officer.
Scoreless, Holmes.
Been very kind to him during this tournament in case I ever need to call in his services. You know, one of the things you notice about Nico Lopez as you watch him wrestle from match to match, he's like the proverbial Energizer bunny out there. He very seldom stops, and of course, that's what we've seen from Brad Holmes. As you see assistant coach Dean Duca encouraging Lopez.
Still on their feet. We've wrestled a minute. Scoreless match.
Lopez tries to go in for a high crotch series. He worked during the dual meet. Look, you see that Holmes was prepared for that.
Back to the center after the stalemate.
Again, a high crotch series by Lopez. Lifts his man, but you notice right away, Holmes has the overhook in there, has the superior height in this bout, battles his way into a stalemate.
I like the fact that they're hitting that stalemate quick. Let's not get them back to the center and wrestle.
Yep. 30 seconds left in the opening period. Again, Lopez goes in for the dump. This time he gets it. He gets a takedown. He might get back points. Just missed the back points.
Now it's key for Holmes to try and get one here, Vogt. He's down 2-0. Like to get that at least that 1
15
point
seconds.
back.
Lopez can't just lay on top of him. He's got the working.
And we'll go to the second period. Lopez with a 2-0 lead.
Big early 2 points.
Brad Holmes of West Deptford enjoys fishing and being with his family in his spare time, Vogt. And what every wrestler says they like best and worst about wrestling, the winning part, a lot of kids say the competition, but everybody says the same thing they like least about wrestling, losing weight.
It's so big a part of the sport, though. Notice how when Lopez stands up with his opposing wrestler, he throws that leg in there, tries to turk the leg. If you turk that leg, you're going to get the man in jeopardy if you can get it in there fast enough and bring him back to the mat.
Well, Lopez the aggressor so far, Vogt, in the first minute or 2 minutes plus.
Well, you know, you can say that there was confidence. The last time they wrestled last year was in the regionals and Lopez won. First time they wrestled this year in the dual meet, Lopez won again. So there's got to be an air of confidence as far as Lopez is concerned.
Also,
one of the hardest working wrestlers on the team.
By the way, Anthony Rislow will advance. He pinned Eric Smith of Pittman in the consolations for third place. Right at the buzzer, Vogt, to the first period there. And here's Lopez still trying to get those back points. Holmes doing his best to stay off his back. Nothing yet. Now we got a 1 count.
A high bridge there. If it goes into a high bridge, now they're potentially dangerous. The call, Jamie Casey, the referee. If you go to a high bridge, even though your back is not near the mat, you can get back points called.
There's the whistle. We got 1:16 left here in the second.
Again, you see Lopez as he lifts his man, try to get that Turk ride in with his leg.
See what Holmes does here on the bottom on the whistle, Vogt.
Well, and the bench is yelling to him from the corner, get wrist control as you come up. That's a big point of trying to get it off the bottom. You have to try to establish wrist control. Lopez turns into his man, tries the crossface. It's a stalemate situation. There's the stalemate call.
I was going to say John Craig and Vince Layton in that corner right now for West Deptford.
Pretty excited.
Trying to yell
rightfully so.
Yeah. This time Lopez starts with the ankle, works his way up. He's going to start bringing his man right back down now. Can't do that. Now they're looking for stalling. There it is.
And an escape is given.
Oh, more. Okay, point. 2-1.
Yeah, that time Holmes was able to face his man before he went out of bounds. Again, Lopez goes in for that high crotch series, gets a trip, gets a takedown with 35 seconds to go. 4-1 lead. That's huge at this point.
Holmes the senior, Lopez a junior.
Jamie Casey, the referee. Tom Reynolds, the assistant in this match. Again, Lopez getting a little sloppy on top there. Again, you got a stalemate situation.
.7 seconds. Remember, Lopez will have his choice, Vogt. In the third, it'll be interesting if he takes neutral. If he has a 3-point lead, I think he might do that, huh?
He could, because he's been dominating on his feet, but he's got to be very careful.
Oh, we'll find out right now. Now he's going to take down.
Well, in the corner, you know, I noticed Coach Marina saying to Lopez, your choice. Where do you feel most comfortable at? Gets off the bottom with an escape. It's a big point.
119-pound medal winner.
Lopez has to push up off the mat. If he can't lay there on his belly, that could be a stalling warning.
They're looking down at that right now.
He has to push up. Laying flat on his belly.
Holmes has also got to watch what he's doing on top, folks.
Well, there's the warning on the bottom man, because the top man, even though he's riding parallel, in the opinion of the official, the bottom man was not trying to push up to get into some kind of a escape or reverse mode. There's a stalling warning on top for riding parallel and just following. So both wrestlers have been hit with stalling warnings. 1:13 to go in the third period.
And we'll restart.
Lopez trying to go in a roll, almost a Granby roll, to try and get out of it. Almost like Brad Holmes was expecting it, went right with him. Again, Lopez comes off the mat, gets in a sitting position. Holmes right back on top, but he's riding parallel. He has to show that he's trying to turn the wrestler.
30 seconds.
Lopez felt the legs coming in, got his hips out. He's in a position to get an escape if he can gain separation.
Trying to reach over and grab the legs of Holmes. Holmes is just trying to spin around, get in position to turn Lopez.
Trying to get a near side cradle. Lopez sits out. 21.4 seconds to go. Time is running out for Holmes. Again, Lopez he gets out, gets an escape, trying to sit out, gets an escape, goes right into attack mode. 5-1 lead for Lopez.
At the 5-1 lead, you might see a stall on Lopez, just because he doesn't want to risk anything here, but we won't get it either. 5-1 win for Nico Lopez. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more action after this timeout. Back at Gloucester County College, just underway, 130 pounds. Darren Carrero of Deptford, DJ Thomas of Pittman. Votes. We'll be seeing DJ's brother Matt a little bit later at 145. Carrero, by the way, it's just an unbelievable season. He is undefeated, 30-0. And DJ Thomas of Pittman, 22-6.
Carrero, the number 1 seed. He got there by decisioning Tim Bast by pinning Tim Bast of Clearview. Then he won by fall against Kyle Wilson of Gateway, who came back to take third place, by the way, to advance to Absegami in Region 8. DJ Thomas, a junior, won by a 48-second fall. Then he won 4-1 over Robert McCormick of Clayton, the number 2 seed, to advance to this position against Carrero. Carrero, of course, been here, done that before, a 3-time finalist.
He's tough this year, Vogue. Look at him right now.
Oh my, all the experience in the world out there right now.
2-1 lead. Very confident.
Very.
Of course, we look forward to Region 8 in this weight class also. Now, we were told earlier, can't confirm it, that Wilcox beat Renard of Kingsway, Wilcox of Shallock, and those three we thought about all year long, battling it out with some of those other guys.
Another nice takedown maneuver by Carrero.
Darren Carrero last year finished 3rd in the regions, finished 2nd in districts, lost to Brian Tracy in the final last year. Brian Tracy of Paulsboro, 9-2, and of course Tracy only went on to finish 2nd in the state of New Jersey last year.
By the way, that district championship for Lopez, his first was number 329 in Paulsboro's history, and up their point total in this tournament to 228 points. Just as we had mentioned coming on the air, they have a lock on the team title.
What's the widest margin of victory you think, Voge, in a district tournament?
Widest margin of victory has been 148 points. And
you know that, huh?
Paulsboro has accomplished that, but so has Camden Catholic.
Darren Carrera with a 4-1 lead here in the second. We'll let him go.
Carrera very confident on his feet. See a lot of red and white wrestling jackets around the gymnasium.
Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of Pennsgrove people here tonight, Coach.
Well, kind of a reunion of sorts for many former wrestlers to get out here and see how their old team is doing. Sometimes you see people at the district tournament that you haven't seen all year. It's nice to see them come out and support the team. And for the West Deptford people, the Pittman people, the Gloucester and Clayton people. Nice ankle pick. Nice ankle pick right to back points.
Look at that.
Oh, my.
I was going to say.
Oh, my.
Right out of the room. He's trying to bring Thomas back in.
Yep.
He has an 8-2 lead. Matter of fact, Tom Curl I saw earlier today. I saw Dan Zander, who won a title last year at a Gateway here.
Now at the University of Pennsylvania. Tom Curl, of course, at Lehigh. Guerrero's going to get hit with stalling.
I think he was thinking too long what to do on that move.
Yeah, had the leg up, and you got to make a decision right then and there. You got to break the man down or go for your pinning combination, but stand there and hold that leg up in the air. You're going to get hit with a stalling call, and there's the intentional escape, so to speak. Guerrero oozing with confidence out there.
He has 4 takedowns, I believe.
Of course, one of our all-time favorites last year was that Matt Gumbali. Remember him from Denver?
Yeah, I saw him floating around here today.
Wrestled in the Seniors Classic last year and gave us one of the most interesting matches. I think he lost, but I think it was like 16-14. He was like a water bug out there.
Where was that, the Delaware South Jersey All-Star game?
Yes,
All-Star match?
Seniors Classic last year was in Paulsboro.
Carrera trying for that late takedown. Doesn't get it. He still leads 8-3 as we go to the third. Joe Hollywood, the coach of Deptford. Mark Scambia, a former wrestler whose dad's the superintendent, by the way, of Paulsboro, Voge.
That he is. And of course, Joe Hollywood, a storied wrestler during his classic career at Deptford High School and later on at Gloucester County College. And like John Marinelli, one of the most personable coaches you can imagine. Said his youngest daughter is giving him fits around the house now. Has powder all over the place.
8-4.
Remember the TV series Charlie's Angels?
I used to date one of the Angels, Voge.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's Joe Hollywood. I think he can still lace them up, Voge.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure he could. But we have Joe Hollywood's Angels living in his house.
Oh, there you go. That was a stretch. I was trying to figure out where you were going with that. Okay.
Well, I try to confuse you like you confuse me sometimes.
Absolutely. Joe Hollywood, Voge, not a big fan of that hydration.
No. The hydration and the paperwork that goes with it. I mean, they're taking a lot of the fun out of the sport. The sport's tough enough to begin with. You know, it's probably one of the toughest sports for a high school athlete to get involved in. And, you know, no timeouts out there. You're one-on-one competition. And for the coaches to have to do all the paperwork they do now and worry about hydration and weight loss, becoming increasingly difficult to want to coach the sport.
A workmanlike effort by Carrero. It's 8-4. It's been that way since early in the third. We're down to 25 seconds left. Thomas takes one last shot. Carrero grabs on, and we're going to end. Final score, Darren Carrero of Deptford High School, 8. And DJ Thomas of Pittman, 4. First district title for Darren Carrero, Voge.
First district title for Darren Carrero, the 38th in Deptford's career. And that gives Deptford inching up the ladder. They were in 7th. Now they're still in 7th, but a half a point behind Clearview.
You know, we talked about Matt Gambale, Votes. Last year at 125, he finished 3rd in District 29. We get ready for 135 pounds. Scott Ware, who I haven't had a chance to see, Votes, because he got a walkthrough into the finals.
Yes, he did.
He won his quarterfinal match by fall. Didn't wrestle in the semis, and he'll go against Matt Kapler of Deptford. Kapler coming into this match 21-7.
And when you're wrestling with a guy like Darren Carrero every day, it's got to make you a better wrestler. Scott Ware, as you mentioned, won his first match by a 37-second fall in the quarterfinals. Then he won by forfeit because Mike Ross of Gloucester Catholic, who won by disqualification Friday night, injured his knee so severely that he was not able to continue. Matt Kapler advanced with a 132 fall against Mayhew of Clearview, 10-8 over Joey Police of West Deptford, and then Police won by medical forfeit. He will be going to Absegami.
These two have wrestled earlier in the year. I don't know how the score. Ware did beat Kapler, though, in that match. Of course, 135, you got that Edapante of Egg Harbor, and of course you got Jordan Burrows, who was a state finalist last year from Winslow Township, to look forward to next week at Absegami.
It doesn't get any easier from here on out. Like we've said many times, there are no guppies this far upstream.
Just sharks, folks, just sharks. There's the takedown for Ware, 2-0. Dan Antonelli has done a great job with this program, Bo. Just keeping it going.
Yes. And as we talked with him last week, it's just a lack of numbers that's killing the smaller schools. He was lamenting the fact that he normally has about 18 8th graders trying to keep interested.
Oh, man.
Like you say, a near side cradle. Going to get back points. Oh, my. And the numbers are down in Clayton, just like many other small schools.
Orville Wilson, the lead official. Tom Reynolds, the mat assistant. Three back points for Ware. He has a 5-0 lead. Oh! Kapler trying to get out and get something. What do we got? Potentially dangerous. Scott Ware last year finished 3rd, defeating Kyle Wilson of Gateway 15-6.
Nothing lead. Waning seconds of the first period. Scott Ware, the #1 seed, looks very confident at this point.
Ware's 2 losses. Hector Gonzalez of Bishop Bar 7-4, and he lost to a wrestler from Shalleck, wrestling at 140 pounds in that match. He has a 5-0 lead as we go into the second period. Ware in on the shot.
Very confident on his feet. You notice if a wrestler is going to be good, he has to be good on his feet in many cases.
It's the takedown as a 7-0 lead. Gotta watch out, got a little sloppy there. Nice move by Kapler to get the 2. Well, 7-2.
Yeah, you can't let up in a championship match.
Kapler going to make some noise on the top here, try and get some back points. Ware escapes, now it's 7-3, or 8-2 for Scott Ware of Clayton High School.
And that puts Ware in the driver's seat. When you have a 6-point lead like that, with less than a minute to go in the second period, you can do things you don't normally have to try and do. He just powers his way into a takedown.
Now a 10-2 lead.
Trying to lock up an arm bar behind the back. Less than 30 seconds to go in the period. A 10-2 lead for Ware. Now it's 10-3. Ware spins behind again. Now he has a 12-3 lead.
11 seconds left, so we'll try and hold him down for the rest of the period.
Very workmanlike job by Ware.
That's what's good about the districts, because you don't get a chance to see these kids all the time, Vogt.
Well, you read about them and you try and follow them, but you're exactly right. I mean, the crowd's being treated to something other than a Paulsboro wrestler out here on the mat, and you're seeing some pretty good competition by wrestlers you don't normally see.
Kapler enjoys playing baseball when he's not wrestling. Of course, I like what Ware put. When not wrestling, my favorite pastime, he just has, I'm only good at wrestling. I like video games, but I'm not good at them. You're in front of that TV I hear all the time, Vogt. Playing little Madden 2006
he
or
and
whatever.
I could have an epic battle in those video games because I'm lost.
Third period underway. Final 2 minutes, and there's the escape. 13-3. Need for Ware. Now he's in on that ankle.
A 10-point advantage as it is, because in there gets the takedown. It's going to be a 12-point advantage. Kapler fighting for his life at this point. Danny Antonelli, one of the, again, we have so many gentlemanly type coaches in this district. Joe Hollywood, John Marinelli, Danny Antonelli.
Are you saying there's some non-gentleman coaches in other districts, Vogt? What do you mean by that?
I mean that we are seeing some of the better coaches for kids in this district. Now, I'm sure there are gentlemanly aspects of coaches throughout South Jersey. Okay, some are a little bit antsier than others.
I want to get that straight. I want to see where you're coming from. I want to remind everybody, Wednesdays at 7:30, it's the High School Wrestling Report. We had some good guests on this year, Vogt. We're going to take a break, though. 13-3 lead Ware. Oh, replay. Here's where he gets hurt. I'm sorry. It's hard to hear these guys in here. It's so loud.
And the coaches will receive their best outstanding wrestler ballot. You can pick them up at the head table.
Oh, there we go. We can really see it there. I'm sure it was there. I
think there was blood. I think it's blood time. I'm looking at the clock, and it
was flashing the B, Vogt.
Yes.
So a little blood time out. Clean these guys up. And now I'll remind everybody, Wednesdays at 7:30, High School Wrestling Report. We've had some good guests on. And we had Paul Marine on last week, Vogt. We've had Petey DePaul, Ralph Ross Jr., Dean Sizemore talking about officials. And the officials overall not doing too bad of a job today, huh?
Well, I thought in this District 29 tournament they've been doing a pretty consistent job.
When there's no booing, you mean that means they're doing their job. Nobody claps for the officials. It's just when there's a boo. So
absolutely.
Thankless job.
Very rarely do they get the applause. You're right. They get the opposite. But if it was easy to be an official, we'd have a lot more people going to classes. Oh, my.
So you got to be impressed by Scott Ware, huh, Vogt?
Very methodical, workmanlike job.
111 to wrestle. He leads 13-3 over to sophomore Matt Kapler. So Kapler, only a sophomore. I mean, some of his losses, he lost to Lloyd, he's lost to Ware, he's lost to Renard. We got blood again. Yep. Give us the blood rules, Vogt.
They have a total of 5 minutes to get it stopped, and then it becomes the discretion of the official. If they can't stop it within 5 minutes, he can call a default to the match, and the bleeder would be the one that would lose.
Well, the first time it was Kapler. This time it's Ware.
So
I think his nose.
Yeah.
I thought you said Ware. Where's he bleeding? Get it?
Oh.
Oh. Okay. It's up there with that Charlie's Angels joke, I think.
And Joey's Angels.
Now we just got to wipe up the mat. We'll be ready to roll. Best team in New Jersey this year. You've seen them all, Vogt. I've seen a lot of them, but you've seen them all, and you're up at Toms River. Is it Camden Catholic? Is it Jackson?
Well, no doubt in my mind, Jackson is the best team in New Jersey. And, you know, Camden Catholic evidently is rebounding in the district and doing a pretty good job, but they did not look insurmountable against Bergen Catholic. You know, Southern Regional went toe-to-toe with Jackson on 3 different occasions. Howell was an outstanding team. South Plainfield had its moments. Pretty tough wrestling teams in New Jersey. Paulsboro's had its moments.
Oh, 1 minute left.
Oh, my.
We're almost at a takedown.
But I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that the top 3 teams in South Jersey are Camden Catholic, Paulsboro, Kingsway. I think if you do Paulsboro, Camden Catholic on paper, you can you have it come out.
Are you telling me right now Camden Catholic's not the top team in South Jersey?
I'm saying that I'd love to see that match wrestled because on paper, I could see it going the other way. But of course, we know it's not done on paper. 15-3, the lead.
I think it's a near fall here, Vogt. It can end on a tech fall.
Yes, it could. It's a 12-point lead right now. If he gets 3 more back points, comes a 15-point differential, and a tech fall.
Down to the final 15 seconds. And we're going to have an escape. So it's 15-4 with 8 seconds left, 7.5 seconds left. Vogt, you are wearing a red tie, though. I just want to make sure we got that right. I'm not saying Paulsboro's not number 1. I'm not saying they are. It's a stall warning. And that's the final. Final score 15-4. Scott Ware of Clayton with a district championship. We'll take a break and be right back.
Here are your 130.
Back at 140 pounds and 4 seconds into the match, and Brian Tracy has the legs of Nick Junta of West Deptford going for the takedown.
And of course, Brian Tracy trying to add to a legacy here of becoming the 11th wrestler in Paulsboro history to win 4 district titles. 66 wrestlers in South Jersey history going into today had won 4 district titles. Brian Tracy with a record of 30-0 this year, 121-16 in his career. First in his tournament in 2003, 4 and 5, and a state runner-up last year. Nick Junta, a junior, the number 3 seed, 20-4 this year, 36-29 in his career.
It's a 2-1 lead, and Tracy going for more right here. Gets 2 more. It's now a 4-1 lead.
That district championship, by the way, for Clayton was the 9th in school history by Scott Ware.
Brian Tracy, by the way, Vogt, will be attending Brown University next year, wrestling there in the Ivy League.
Certainly a good choice of school. Anytime you can get an Ivy League education, take it. See Counselor Joe Enos made it on time today. Remember being up at the Sterling match this year when Billy Jones and Joe Enos walked in with one bout to go, the heavyweight bout.
It's because you guys changed the starting time, probably. 4-1 lead for Tracy. Gento probably get one here. Not yet.
And many times you'll see Tracy go out there and cut people loose. And we have an injury timeout with Junta.
Last year, Voge, Junta wrestled 140 and he finished 4th. Lost in the consolation match to Brett Hamill of Gateway by a score of 3-2. Tracy beat Darren Carrera, we mentioned that earlier, 9-2, on the way to his 2nd place finish. Tracy actually a 2-time state place winner.
Yes.
There we see, it is a blood timeout, it looks like. I don't know if it's a blood timeout because it says 51 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, that was.
But the B was flashing, so I don't know why.
Yeah.
So just an injury timeout. There's Steve Anashevsky running this tournament.
The tournament director.
Can always tell when the tournament director's doing a good job. He's not working, which means everything's going great.
Well, that means he has all the pieces in place and he can finally relax. The championship round is here.
Delegating.
Yep, his work will be cut out next week when the regional seeding meeting takes place. 1-point escape right at the buzzer. It's 4-2.
Tracy defers, Junta choice. And he'll take bottom.
Tracy's going to use the freestyle start.
Four 4-3 match. Tracy in on that leg again.
Very low center of gravity, and that gets him in on wrestlers' legs low a lot of times. Trying to turk the leg. Going to cut him loose again. You cut him loose, Mondelli.
You got to take him down, Boach. You got to take him down. Of course, Shakoy Berry and Millville in this weight class. We'll see him probably next week. And Tracy, they'll be the favorites to be in the final, I would assume.
I would think. They may be the top 2 seeds.
Tracy working for more than the 2 here, it looked like.
Well, I think he had aspirations there of getting a takedown, taking his opponent right to his back, but Junta fights it off.
I should look at statewide at this weight class. Molinaro, a returning state champion out of Southern Regional, has just one loss, and that was to Scott Winston in that All-Star Invitational. You have Kakuzo, who Tracy beat in that All-Star Invitational. Plenty of wrestling before we get there, though. And there we take a look at the West Deptford bench. John Craig, the head coach, we talked about him.
It's a change of direction out there a lot of times with Tracy. He'll go in, get in on the leg, and he'll start one way and then go the other way. Junta giving him everything right now.
(6-4). Tracy with 3 takedowns, Junta with 4 escapes. That shot was from far out, and he still got in there, Vogt.
Uses his quickness, a good advantage a lot of time.
Stalemate, 10 seconds left. There's a quick takedown, Vogt. 10 seconds left in the period. He gets that in about 2 seconds, right off the whistle. He'll take the 8-4 lead in the period number 3.
And he'll choose the defensive position or the down position going into the 3rd period. Very methodical is the way you can describe it, Brian Tracy. Does a deep sit out.
Trying to get the 2 here. Spin around, get the reversal. Junta trying to hold on.
There's the 2 points.
Now 10-4.
135-pound place winners. Be prepared. 135-pound place winners.
Is there a point you might see Tracy just cut him and try and work from his feet?
There you saw it right there. Out of bounds they go, but Tracy kind of gave him the leeway to get the escape.
Now 10-5. Junta takes the shot that time. Tracy sprawls. Going to push down on that head and spin around. He might be able to get the takedown.
Winding him up, spins behind.
Junta trying to adjust his headgear. It's now 12-5, a minute and 1 second left.
Well, again, I think what you're looking to look at here is possibly Tracy cutting him loose and trying for the big move on the takedown. Surprisingly, he didn't cut him loose right away. Working on top technique.
In a dual meet, depending on the team score, you might see something change here, though.
No question. .5 seconds remaining in the third period. Tracy on top, 12-5.
Well, if this was a dual meet, I'd say Junta doing a great job staying off his back.
Well, I think it's a very methodical workout for Tracy and doing what he has to do to win another title. Going to put him in some pretty elite company.
So Brian Tracy will pick, don't count too soon, 4 seconds left. He'll pick up his 4th district title. How many is that now, Vogt? 60, how many wrestlers?
66 had 4 district titles going into this year.
.5 win for Brian Tracy. Paulsboro's had a lot of those 4-time winners also out of those 66.
Paulsboro has had 10 previously. Those 10 wrestlers, Carmel Marina, Jeff Hamilton, Adam Miller, Larry DeVault, Matt Suter, Jermaine Ruffin, Scott Guerin, who had 3 of them at Oakcrest, by the way, Troy Bennett, Tom Curl, Mike Mendenhall. So the 11th wrestler is Tracy. The 10th who would all 4 at Paulsboro.
135-pound place winners.
Okay, we get ready for 145 pounds. Matt Thomas of Pittman going up against Brett Hamill of Gateway. Matt Thomas last year wrestled in the 140-pound final, lost to Jeff Hamilton of Paulsboro 8-4. Hamill last year finishing 3rd. We talked about him earlier at 140, defeating Nick Junta of West Deptford 3-2.
Scott Ware.
Matt Thomas, the #1 seed in this weight class, had a fall over Walt Lenkowski of Clearview, and then a tech fall over Josh Kerr of West Deptford to reach this point. Brett Hamill, the #2 seed, opened with a fall over Tim Whitaker of Glassboro, and then a 7-1 win over Ryan Hone of Paulsboro. Josh Kerr battled back and got an 8-7 win over Hone to win 3rd place.
89 career wins for Thomas, looking for number 90.
And on the single.
2 seconds in a 3rd in district, so looking for that elusive title.
Draws first blood with a takedown.
Thomas is planning on attending Penn State University next year.
And interestingly, Matt Thomas's first name spelled M-A-T, which is what he competes on. A mat.
That's correct, Vogt. going to have some back points here.
Nice tilt series. Near fall will be coming.
One of Hamel's losses, Voge, is to Thomas, 4-2 earlier this year.
And already in this match, a 4-0 lead for Thomas.
In the first minute.
Boy, that second place battle between Clayton and Pittman is tightened up. Clayton jumped back into the lead, has 130.5 points, Pittman 128.5.
More back points. Matt Thomas wrestling an excellent match here, Voge. He hasn't finished the first period. He's up, looks like, what, 6-7 nothing. There's 3, 7 nothing. Yep.
Good plan of attack. He knows what he wants to do.
So Thomas with a 7-0 lead, 21 seconds left.
Pittman already with one district champion at 112 pounds, Tony Casleone, trying for their second.
How about Casleone to come from last year? I mean, last year he finished 4th, lost in the district consolations to Torrey Palomini of Paulsboro at 112 coming up this year, and looked really strong in that weight class.
No question. Looked exceptionally strong. That's what he's going to need next week, because it doesn't get any easier with those Sharks waiting upriver.
Yeah, next week, I mean, you got Justin Rivera, St. Augustine, Dan Stanley at Timber Creek. Just a couple of those wrestlers there we see. It's 7-1 as we go to the second. Voge, a wild one in the consolation here, where Josh Kerr, the freshman of West Deptford, an 8-7 win over Ryan Hone of Paulsboro. Just a wild match where Hone had a 5-0 lead at one time. Here we go, starting period number 2.
Which is a tribute to Josh Kerr, because no matter how far you are behind, there's always a chance to win if you keep battling.
Hamel getting the shot here. Got to finish it.
Again, he's down 7-1, so this is crucial for him. Out of bounds they go. Never had control, so they're still neutral. Minute left in the second period. 7-1 lead for number 1 seed Matt Thomas of Pittman.
Almost like Hamel can't figure out Thomas. Thomas counters his moves, countering every move.
Well, Matt Thomas second in this tournament the last 2 years, so that speaks for itself. Been there, knows what it takes to win. Good plan of attack.
Hamel again trying to take the shot.
But notice where they are. They're on the out of bounds line. And Thomas is being warned by referee Jamie Casey to try and stay more in the center of the mat. Now we got a stalling warning out there against Matt Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas built that 7-1 lead after the first period. And do you think wrestlers sometimes just put it in cruise control and forget?
I don't think there's any question. You want to go out there and just be careful, because they have to remember on stalling, though, after the first warning, it's a stalling point, 2 points, and then disqualification. You can't cruise too fast.
Well, he'll take down to start the third period. He has a 7-1 lead. So take a look at the Gateway side. One of the Gateway assistants. Of course, Gateway, we talked about it being a co-op problem combined with Woodbury. There's the escape. It's now 8-1. Take a look.
140-pound place winner.
Lucas.
All 140-pound place winner.
Chuck Lucas, assisted by Paul Tompkins, Jim Miller, and Dave Brown. A lot of motion Hamel's going to need here. Just trying to move while he's got that leg up, folks. Maybe tripping. .103 to wrestle. 8-1 lead, Matt Thomas at Pittman.
And Billy Chiaffi encouraging his wrestler to get a little motion out there. Under a minute, Matt Thomas has had all the answers so far with an 8-1 lead. Do or die time for Brett Hamill. Needs a big throw here, some kind of a big move, not only to take Matt Thomas down, but take him right to his back. Time is quickly deserting Hamill.
There's Thomas's brother we saw earlier wrestle Darren Carrero. Carrero won that match 8-4, but a nice match wrestled though by Thomas. This time the senior Thomas with the lead with 10 seconds left, 8-1. So stall warning, 8-2 now. I thought it was a point. There was a point. Yeah, 8-2 final score. Matt Thomas of Pittman High School.
A district champion finally.
We're going to take a break from Gloucester County College. More wrestling coming up after this timeout. And back at Gloucester County College, 152 pounds, Paulsboro's Jeff Hamilton against Mark Treckner of Clayton High School.
Hamilton, a junior, the #1 seed, 25-4 this year, 69-29 in his career. A three-time finalist who was #1 this tournament at 140 pounds last year. Hamilton got here as the #1 seed with a fall over Sawyer Wilson of West Deptford. Then he pinned Cameron Argood of Gateway. Treckner, the #2 seed. Record of 23-2 this year. Career record of 66-20. Third in this tournament in 2004. Has 7-5 win over Greg Stone of Deptford in his first match. 15-9 over Scott Larson of Pittman in the semifinals.
And Hamilton has a 2-0 lead here.
That win by Pittman in the previous weight class raised Pittman's point total to 132.5 points. 2 points now ahead of Clayton.
So Paulsboro's going to send a wrestler out the rest of the night, Coach.
Every weight class from here on. 3 champions so far at 103, 119, 125. And Hamilton with an early 2-0 advantage here on the takedown. Tried to do a little stack job on Treckner, but was Too close out of bounds, and out they went.
Schreckner Vogt, 66 career wins, plans on studying law enforcement. Another kid you got to get on his good side. By the way, his favorite pastime when out wrestling, Vogt, your favorites, monster trucks.
All right.
There's the escape. It's now 2-1.
Nice roll through by Schreckner to get the escape.
He takes the shot this time on Hamilton. Hamilton gets out of that.
To control the head. Schreckner presses the issue, and out of bounds they go. Is that a monster truck tattoo in the back?
It might be both. Just to show you how opposite these two guys are. You can't get any more different. Schreckner monster trucks. Jeff Hamilton playing chess. 19 seconds left in a 2-1 lead for Jeff Hamilton of Paulsboro. Schreckner taking the shots here, Vogt, last 30 seconds.
Always best to keep the pressure on.
Hamilton's got that leg. He can try and bring him back in. We'll run out of room. We'll go back to the center. Just under 2 seconds left here in period number 1.
Of course, we saw Brian Tracy win his 4th district championship tonight. The second wrestler in Paulsboro history to win 4 district championships was Jeff Hamilton's father, Jeff, who we often see on the sidelines with his video camera working.
Oh, he's doing it right in front of you, Vogt. We go to his second period. Schreckner is on the bottom.
Hamilton with a 2-1 lead.
Of course, his freshman year, he lost to the freshman from Clayton, Lauren Wright. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And you mentioned it's his 3rd trip to the final, so he's used to this stage.
Nice Granby roll by Schreckner. Neutral.
Now 2-2. Schreckner keeps going after Hamilton.
And of course, Schreckner could well remember the grief that Lauren Wright gave Hamilton.
Paul Marina not happy with the non-takedown call, I guess, Vogt.
Well, there again, I think he called the wrestler completely off the mat and in the arms of the trainer over there, which is why I didn't give the takedown.
Blood time here, Vogt.
Yep. But I've seen that takedown given with the toes in bounds. Well, for the opinion of the official.
Well, we're at the 2-2 match. Of course, our final top 10 votes will come out after the region tournament. Vogt's not telling us who he thinks the #1 team is.
Not until the final poll. See Coach Marina along with Coach Chilla in the corner of Hamilton.
She said 5 minutes of blood time. As we take a look at the crowd, it usually starts to clear out towards the end, which is a shame for the heavyweights. Minute 5 to wrestle here in the second period. A tight 2-2 match.
Especially when you get to the last 2 weights in this district, because Silvestro has been first twice in this tournament, so is Hester. Schreckner putting the pressure on.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I mentioned that earlier, he's been coming after Hamilton the whole period.
Hamilton trying to spin behind. Now goes in for a single, got the single leg, grabs the other leg, takes his man down, gets a 4-2 lead with 30 seconds to go in the second period. Treckner not quitting out there, Mondelli. You have to be impressed.
Voting, I definitely am. Find that. There we go. 4-2. Let's see if you can ride him out.
Be tough. Treckner's been moving out there. He has to roll those wrists back, and the man on the bottom get the butt down on the mat.
Got to bring him down. He can get hit for stalling here, Vogt. There's the escape with 9 seconds left.
You can see that forward Granby roll coming. Treckner is executing that very well.
We'll go to the third period with Hamilton leading 4-3. Hamilton's choice here in the third.
He takes a defensive with a down position. Let's explode off the bottom, but Treckner is going to cut him loose right away. Going to give him the freestyle start.
I would think he'd at least try maybe for a little bit to see if he has a chance. He hasn't been working from the top rope.
Yeah, I think he was putting the pressure on when he was on his feet, so I think he feels confident there.
Right, there's press row. Jeff Hamilton, the second one in, the father of the Paulsboro wrestler. A 5-3 lead for Hamilton. That almost means you're going to have to take him down twice, though, Vogt.
Oh, yeah, no question. And of course, Jeff, when he videotapes, very rarely do you hear any noise come out of him.
Neither wrestler has been hit with a stall warning, so that's not going to come into play as of yet.
A tenuous lead, 5-3 for Hamilton. Treckner trying to tie up high and step forward. Hamilton again gets the ankles, but out of bounds they go. Hamilton has a great high crotch series when he's on, when it works. Treckner putting the pressure on again, but again out of bounds they go. 1:03 remaining. Hamilton with a 2-point lead, 5-3. Desperate times call for desperate moves. Treckner is behind. Hamilton spins it aside. Gets the near side cradle attempt. Gets the takedown.
Trying to lock him up.
He gets the head in the ribs and drives his man forward. He can expose the back and get back points. Stalemate call.
So a 7-3 lead, a little more comfortable if you're Jeff Hamilton. Treckner, I was going to say Treckner needs something big though right now.
Well, especially with 13.4 seconds left.
There's the escape, now 7-4. I need like the big throw now.
Almost right into the lap of the father, Jeff.
Stall warning against Hamilton. And Jeff Hamilton will hold off Treckner, win his second district title. Final score 7-4.
Here are your 145-pound place winners.
To get ready for 160 pounds. Bob Tunstall. Talked about Bob Tunstall's father, though. He's two-time district champ. There's that.
There's that takedown coming up.
Oh, it was an escape. I know that.
Escape.
And your district 20 29, 145-pound champion from Pittman.
Anyway, Hamilton goes on to win. Tunstall at 160 votes, only with one loss. His father was a two-time district champ back in the 70s. His opponent, Billy Surasitsky of Paulsboro, a two-time district champ.
Mentioned the father, Bob Tunstall, a 188-pounder in 1976, 89-pounder in 77, so back-to-back district championships. And as you mentioned, Surasitsky comes in here with back-to-back district championships. Tunstall, 30 wins, 1 loss this year, 85-17 in his career. Second in this tournament at 145 pounds in 2004, and fourth at 152 last year.
His only loss, 2-point loss to a wrestler from Manchester, votes 6-4. Nothing yet. 53 seconds in.
Tunstall, the #1 seed, got a forfeit win in the quarterfinals, won by fall against Wayne Wren of Deptford in the semifinals. Surasitsky, the #3 seed, won by fall against Reichert of West Deptford in the quarterfinals, and 7-2 against Eric Laskowski of Clearview in the semis. Laskowski came back and got 3rd place and will go to Absegami in the Region 8 tournament. Paulsboro already with 5 district champions at 103, 119, 125, 140, and 152. And a Paulsboro wrestler, as you mentioned earlier, in every weight class from here on out.
Surasitsky trying to spin around and get a late takedown. He does.
He got the takedown. Surasitsky only 14-3 this year because of a gym class injury suffered back in the early part of the season. 80 wins, 36 losses in his career coming in, and as we have mentioned, a 2-time district champion. Has the early 2-0 lead.
Surasitsky starts the bottom, begins second period. He has a 2-0 lead.
Stands up on the bottom, gets a wrist control, which is very important. Oh my.
There's the escape, 3-0 lead, Surasitsky.
Tunstall had aspirations of a cradle there, and Surasitsky got wrist control and got out of it. But 3-0 at this point. This is imperative for Tunstall to get points before this period is over.
Mentioned Bobby Tunstall's father, Village. He's in the corner with Dan Antonelli, helping out the Clayton team tonight. So he's sitting on the bench next to Coach Antonelli, watching his son, which must be really tough. There's Tunstall grabbing that leg. What a quick shot that was.
Yes, it was.
Nice job by Surasitsky. Sprawled. He's trying to fight out of it. Now spin around and get his own takedown.
Grabs the ankle, spins behind, tries to get the near side cradle. Tunstall battling though. No takedown points yet. Surasitsky trying to work around the front. Tunstall having
nice job by Tunstall, Bo. Did you get that takedown?
Played possum there. Let Surasitsky go out front and make the move, and it cost him dearly. Now it's a 1-point match.
And this is a big ride out here in the end of this period for Tunstall because he has his choice to start the third.
And he'll be very tough to hold down on the mat, there's no question. 15 seconds left. Got Sarasinski's arm trapped behind him.
And we're going to go to the third period, a 3-2 match. Looked like Sarasinski at one time could open it up to maybe a 5, even more point match at one point there.
Instead, he finds himself in a 1-point battle.
And Tunstall with the choice to start the third.
Yep. Tunstall with a defensive or down position. All he needs is a point to tie it up.
And there's the tie match, 3-3, 1:45 to wrestle.
The next takedown becomes absolutely huge. These wrestlers spend countless hours on their feet in practice. Sarasinski tried to go in on the leg. Tunstall trapped the arm. Both wrestlers very experienced, so a lot of savvy coming into play here. What's going to work, what's not going to work. Sarasinski trying to get the Russian tie on that one arm. Now trying to spin behind. Tunstall getting that right arm out to try and block. Sarasinski still spinning behind, gets the takedown.
45 seconds left. He has a 5-3 lead.
Huge, huge points.
And there's the escape, now 5-4.
And no stalling warnings.
Tunstall trying to take a shot. He misses. Sarasinski trying to spin behind and get the 2, which would be a big 2 with 25 seconds left. But Tunstall not giving up on that.
Not at all. Not at all.
20 seconds.
Less than 15 seconds. They go out of bounds.
And no stall warnings, folks. So
11.5. Well, with no stalling warnings, Sarasinski can have discretion be the better part of valor here. Tunstall has to take the shot. Sarasinski can sprawl on him.
3 seconds. And Sarasinski's going to win. 5-4. Tough match.
And his third consecutive district championship.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more wrestling from Gloucester County College. And back at Gloucester County College, the finals at 171 pounds, C.J. Delia of Clearview, Mike Cucinato of Paulsboro.
Cucinato, the #1 seed, coming in. Won his first match over Sariski of Pittman by a fall in the first period. Won his second match over Sanders of Clayton by a fall in the second period. Matched up against C.J. Delia, a junior from Clearview, like Cucinato Jr. Delia's first match a fall in 251 over Camarado of Gloucester Catholic. His second match a 9-0 major decision over Jack Flannery of Gateway. Leon Sanders of Clayton came back and took third place with an 8-6 win to qualify for the regional. Cucinato, kind of a novice wrestler coming into this year. John, 17-6 this year, 21-8 in his career.
And these two did not wrestle in the dual meet between Paulsboro and Clearview. C.J. Delia wrestled Gerald Hodges of Paulsboro and lost 11-6 in overtime. Hodges was one of those guys that just couldn't find his way into this lineup.
The same thing as Mark Alger and Christian Sullivan of Paulsboro. Not very many backups on the Paulsboro locker room, but Gerald Hodges has a bright future. He's a freshman, and he and Cucinato went toe-to-toe on many occasions, just like Alger and Hester did, and Christian Sullivan in the same situation with Sarasinski in the locker room.
Yeah, Delia has 6 losses. We talked about the Hodges match in overtime. 6-5, the Holy of Cherry Hill East. Winklespect, who's a tough wrestler out of Williamstown, He lost 12-9. Macaulay of Kingsway, he lost a 1-0 match there in overtime. B.J. Riley, we know about him. Had a strong region tournament last year. He lost to him 11-2.
So Delia certainly a very worthy opponent here. 23-6 this year, as you mentioned, 6 losses, 46-32 in his 2-year career for Clearview. No score in the opening period. It looks like that's the way we're going to end up, 0-0.
Take a look at the Paulsboro Junior.
Back years ago when I was coaching, Mike Cucinata's father, Nick Cucinata, played football on the team that I coached and had a lot of ability. It was tough to get a lot out of him. But he had a lot of ability. Come from a farming background.
Right down the road from me, Vogt.
Nothing ever seemed to excite Nicky Cucinata.
There we go, 1-0 lead for Delia.
On the escape. Mike Cucinata has gotten progressively better this year from the early parts of the season. Had a strong tournament down in Virginia in the Great Bridge tournament.
Might have a blood timeout here.
We do. See Cucinata into the corner with Paul Marina demonstrating on Tony Chilla what he should be doing.
It's like a move from Dancing with the Stars, Vogt.
Absolutely.
Who leads?
Jeff Hamilton comes up in the background to offer some advice and some water.
We do have a big crowd here at Gloucester County College. About we got 4 more to go. And take a look at Delia. That's Mark Maraca with him. Mark, of course, wrestled at Clearview not too long ago, and last year was helping out with the staff over at Deptford High School. Tom Reynolds. I think law enforcement and high school officials have a lot in common, Vogt.
Tom Reynolds retired as a detective and a policeman up in the Voorhees district.
What's the other guy, Roberts from Buna?
Yeah, Ron Roberts, a state trooper. We saw Otis Myers here earlier, longtime policeman in Deptford, a former official.
Okay, we stop the clock on the blood time. 1:29 to wrestle here in the second. A 1-0 lead, C.J. Delia of Clearview.
I think, a lot of kudos to the people that put the tournament on here. Steve Anashevsky, of course, the tournament director, and also some responsibility getting the help to man the tables and to man the entrances and the security involved. Of course, this is one of the premier events in the wrestling community, the District 29 tournament, all the district tournaments, in fact. I'm sure there was plenty of excitement in all the other districts wrestled throughout the state today.
Yeah, they're probably over by now, Vogt.
Well,
I think they started earlier.
They may be. You've been whining about that all night. We'll see what we can do for the future.
Not just for me. I think about it for the newspapers. Got those early deadlines.
Well, newspapers sometimes are their own worst enemies with some of the stories they do.
1:04 to wrestle here in the second. Neither wrestler with a takedown, and Delia with the escape starting on the bottom of the second period. The only point in this match. And they go out. Got to watch there. Very close to being off the mat.
Yep.
There's C.J. Delia's dad in the background.
Again, it's got to be exasperating for parents.
There's some Delias used to wrestle at Gloucester. I'm sure that's one of them.
Well, a very familiar name. In fact, is checking them in for weigh-ins on Friday night, and I called Delia of Gloucester to the scale. And I have it corrected. Yeah. Some habits are hard to break. "30 seconds to go in the second period in a 1-0 match.
I had a feeling this one was going to be a tight one, Vogt.
No question. Of course, when it's 1-0 like this, you got to be careful out there. You don't want to make some kind of a silly move that's going to throw you off balance.
And time will run out. We're going to go to the third period in 1-0 match. C.J. Delia of Clearview, the junior, with the lead over Paulsboro junior Mike Cucinato.
Has all the earmarks of an overtime match.
Only if it's tied, Vogt.
That's the truth.
Captain obvious.
Reaching out on the bottom. He's worked up to his base. Now he has to explode off that base. Because Delia's got to be careful of how he rides on top. It gets a parallel ride going. He could be called for stalling as well as the bottom man. Almost a stalemate type situation right now.
Oh, 1:11 left. Delia doing his job.
Well, if he rides the opponent out the rest of this period, he deserves the 1-0 win.
Dan Zander, the winner at this weight class last year, a 14-4 winner over Nate Dawson of Paulsboro. Dawson, of course, sitting out this season due to an injury. Cucinato trying to step out. Delia holding on to that leg. Nice job by Delia not giving up. And it looked like Cucinato was going to escape.
The stalemate. More blood time, it looks like.
Medals. Be prepared. 160-pound medals.
C.J. Delia, when not wrestling, Vogt, likes to fish. Mike Cucinato, of course, favorite pastime, one of mine, watching TV. Sure, he tunes into our show every week, right, Vogt?
Yep.
45 seconds. So Delia trying to hold off Cucinato. He's got the 1-0 lead. And an escape early on in the second period, the only points in this match.
Time quickly running out for Cucinato. He's got to get free.
So stall warning against Clearview. 21 seconds.
Might be too late though. 21.4 seconds to go. Delia just got to break his man down.
Delia's got to try and work up on that leg in the last 5 seconds. Reynolds looking on. I don't think he's going to call it. Delia's going to hold off and win a district title for Clearview.
1-0.
Nice way to rebound if you're Delia, Vogt, losing to a Paulsboro wrestler earlier on in the year. Coming back and picking up a 1-0 win after losing 11-6 in overtime the first time you wrestled.
There you go. Sweet revenge.
We go to 189. Steve Flannery of West Deptford and Ellis Hester of Paulsboro.
Ellis Hester comes in as the #1 seed in this weight class. Won by a fall in his quarterfinal match over Mike Carducci of Gloucester Catholic. Won by major decision, 15-5 over Clint Carter of Pittman, who battled back to take third place and advanced to Absegami. Steve Flannery, an 8-2 win in the quarterfinals. 3-1 overtime win over Steve Crawford of Clayton in the semifinals. As I mentioned, Carter a 3-2, 3 overtime win over Crawford.
Voj, I mentioned this to you earlier. I don't think that I've seen Ellis Hester wrestle this well in his time at Paulsboro. I mean, I think that Collingswood match against DiLiberto, who only had one loss when he came in and beat him, I mean, I just think that was a boost of confidence for Hester.
No question. You know, Hester with a fall in a major decision in this tournament has been on fire on his feet, so this is a big test for him. Hester 21-6 this year, 49-33 in his career, third in this tournament last year. Flannery, a sophomore, 22-5 this year, 28-20 in his career for West Deptford.
We had a chance to see his brother earlier today, who wrestles at Gateway.
Yep. A reminder, all first place medalists are to stay in their wrestling gear. All first place medalists are to stay in their wrestling gear for pictures at the end.
Go back to the center with a 2-0 lead. Hester at 1:17 left here in the first period. We're at 189 pounds from Gloucester County College. A lot of youth on this West Deptford team. The West Deptford wrestlers I've seen today, Voj, I noticed a lot of underclassmen.
There are, and that bodes well for the future, having a young lineup.
And especially, it's good for West Deptford because the Colonial Conference is getting real strong with Audubon, Haddonfield, Collingswood. I mean, Paulsboro's the given there, but those other schools.
Well, they're close. Some of them are closing the gap. You know, it doesn't look like it from the outside point of view, but you know, when you don't have a lot of numbers, the gap closes much faster.
This was going to have to bring him right back down or let him go. They go out. We'll go back to the center once again. Hester on top. Just going to let him go with 45 seconds left. Obviously confident enough to get another, thinks he can get another takedown, I should say, in the last 45 seconds. 2-1 lead. He's in on those legs. Gonna run out of room, maybe. In the past, it looked like Hester was always having trouble finishing that takedown, but I see him finishing them more and more, Voj.
Well, he's getting deeper into the season now, and this is crucial time, district time, region time. If you want to get to that boardwalk hall, you have to be able to finish moves. Of course, I think some college plans in the future for Ellis Hester. A very bright young man.
How about Steve Flannery, Voj? Give him credit. There's a guy that took his lumps last year as a freshman, 6-15, bouncing back to 22-5 this year. He's in the district final.
Excellent turnaround of a record.
He's lost to Hester already this year. A couple kids in the Southern tournament. Sure, Clyde Folsom has his eyes on these guys. Start period number 2. Hester on the bottom, Flannery on top. Hester leads 2-1.
And there was some talk in the weigh-in room that both Flannerys might be on the football team at West Deptford next year, and of course on the wrestling team. Be reunited.
West Deptford will be the team to beat once again in Gloucester County next year, to have this phenom freshman Owens coming in the backfield. Who's also a great track star in the AAU level. Good wrestler, just an all-around good athlete.
And speed is paramount in a type of offense that West Deptford has. We saw that with Cordell Young and Bunton this last year. That's the second stall to Flannery, and that amounts to a point for Ellis Hester.
It's got to try and bring that guy right back down to the mat. We talked about that all year long.
Either that, or if he gets to his feet and you can't get him down right away, you almost have to cut him loose. Flannery stayed right with his opponent that time, brought him back down.
Of course, once you get to next week, you want to place in the regions. So I think every wrestler's dream is to walk out in Atlantic City on the mat, huh?
Oh, without a doubt. There you see the escape. 4-1 lead for Hester. Without a doubt, when you get involved in individual accomplishments, conference titles are nice, group titles are nice, district titles are nice. They're still part of the team to win a district title. You see the spin behind takedown and a 6-1 lead.
Seth will try and cut him now or work on top.
Oh, I think, yeah, you're going to see him cutting pretty soon. When you get to this level, now this is your last team accomplishment, but at the same time, it's the first leg of the state individual tournament. You have to place in the top 3 here to get to the next level. You have to place in the top 3 there to get to the state tournament in Atlantic City. And there's nothing more beautiful than to go to the first round in Atlantic City and see 8 mats on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
A beehive of activity. The elite compete.
Sure, no guppies.
No guppies that far, all sharks.
6-2 lead. My favorite Paulsboro athlete just walked by is Vogt of all time. Greg Cross, 8-2 lead for Ellis Hester.
One of your favorite baseball players years ago.
Absolutely. My brief stint as a coach, I think that's why I lost my hair. I don't know how these guys do it.
And of course, Greg Cross helping out with the Paulsboro program and doing an admirable job from what I'm told, what I've seen.
8-3, 14 seconds.
Giving back to the program.
Flannery's got to watch out when he steps back like that because he's been hit twice. Hester tries to get that ankle before they go out. 1.7 seconds left here in the second period.
And you notice how he reversed motion there too. He started one way and came the other way, and get your opponent off balance. A little bit easier to take him down.
8-3 lead for Hester. We go to the third. Flannery will probably take the bottom.
Well, I would take the bottom because more than likely the chances are that Hester's going to cut him loose. And if you cut him loose, Mondelli,
got to take him down. You got to take him down, Vogt.
Makes it an 8-4 match in favor of Ellis Hester. They'll set it up and finish. This is certainly a good experience for Flannery because, as you mentioned, he is a sophomore, so he'll be back for a couple more years. Hester, the senior.
Hester gets in on that leg. Can he get the takedowns? The question.
Yes, you got to spin him in bounds. Got to lift that leg high and spin him in bounds. Get him off balance.
Not yet.
Well, that's 2 points right there. I don't know why he's waiting for it.
There he goes.
Yeah, I had 2 points earlier.
Vogt, one match. I want you out there with the stripes. One match.
Believe me, I would die out there.
10-4 lead. Hester, he's going to let him go again.
I think my mind knows what to do. I don't think my body would cooperate.
171 pounds. Be ready, 171 pound placement.
10-5 Hester. Into the final 45 seconds. Flannery not giving up.
So wrestling begins when, Vogt? Tuesday night?
Tuesday night in Absegami, Region 8.
And then you reseed Wednesday, right?
Yep.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more action after this timeout. And we're back from that blood timeout. Hester trying to go in on that takedown. Doesn't have it yet. He leads 10-5 though. We're in the final 30 seconds of the third period.
Gets a takedown as Flannery goes out of bounds.
12-6. There's a nice shot behind the behind a lot of the wrestlers' votes of Tom Curl, his younger brother. I don't want to say little brother anymore. Who might be taller than him? What's he in 7th grade?
Yep.
Bob Frederick, Fred Schwartz. Sign of things to come with the Paulsboro upperweights. Here's another escape. It's 12-6.
12-6.
Nothing there. 9 seconds left.
Flannery, nice overhook that time as they were going down to the mat, because if Flannery had gone right down and given up that move, he would have gotten taken down. Hester spins behind, gets a 14-6 lead, which is a major decision.
So a 14-6 win for Ellis Hester of Paulsboro, his first title last year, finishing 3rd. Of course, DeJuan Collins won that title last year, Vogt, and almost pulled off one of the major upsets in the semis of regions last year against Vince Jones. There we go. There's a shot of the Curl brothers, huh?
Little brother is catching up with big brother.
Yeah. He's thinking 2 years I could be here. 215 pounds, Vogt. Alex Silvestro of Paulsboro. Tom Greaser.
Second place from Paulsboro High School, Mike Cucinato.
Alex Silvestro, the #1 seed, a junior with a record of 26-0 this year, 87-10 in his career. First in this tournament in 2004 and 2005, and 6th in the state last year. So he's a 2-time district champion as a junior, looking for his 3rd. Tommy Greaser, a senior, and the #3 seed for Pittman, 26-6 in his career, in his record this year, 56-30 in his career, and 3rd in this tournament last year. Paulsboro already with 7 district champions, going for #8. Silvestro got here with a 329 fall against Brandon Miller of Clearview, and then a 134 fall against Ed House of Deptford. Greaser, the #3 seed, with a first period fall against Steve Weiss of Glassboro, and a major decision over Josh Nevid of West Deptford, who came back and won by fall over House of Deptford to take 3rd place and earn his trip to Absegami.
Yeah, Greaser was a guy we were talking about earlier, Vogt, where he was losing 2-1 going into the 3rd period and scored 13 points in the 3rd period. Down 2-1 going into the 3rd and ended up winning 14-6.
West Deptford, by the way, with 3 second-place finishes and 4 third-place finishes, so they'll be taking 7 wrestlers to Absegami. Great job by John Craig and his crew.
Both of these guys also play football. Greaser's going to be going to Salisbury next year, Vogt.
Salisbury University.
Well, actually, he'll be going this year, I guess, because September is this year.
You're correct.
Of course, one of his losses this year to Nevid, and then he came back and beat him. So a nice way to avenge your loss to get to the district final. Of course, Silvestro had a real test last Sunday, Vogt. You saw that against a wrestler from Hasbrook Heights.
Undefeated wrestler by the name of Fell, went overtime as Silvestro won, and just as astonishingly, the rankings in the state dropped him behind the wrestler he beat head up.
That's you newspaper people.
Whatever.
2-0 lead for Silvestro, running out of time here in the 1st period.
Of course, Silvestro has his work cut out when he gets to the region tournament, because that Jack Corcoran of St. Joe's of Hamilton is awaiting him, who was the regional champion last year, with Silvestro's 2nd.
And Sharps there from Millville, he only has 1 loss coming into the district tournament.
Yep, so as we have often said,
Yeah, I know.
There are no guppies that far. And of course, with Sharp, Bear and Corcoran having won the title last year, that means that Silvestro and Sharp would have to probably meet in the semifinals. So good plan of attack.
Greaser on top to start the second period. Well, here's what I'm going to do. You take these words out of your vocabulary for an entire wrestling season. I'll buy you a Channel 5 jacket. Guppies, sharks, brother, and my.
Now you're starting to pick on me.
You could say, oh dear, oh Betty. I'm just having a good time with you, Vogue.
See the frustration building up on Silvestro's face out there.
We're going to go back to the center again. Let's watch Greaser's technique here on the whistle, Vogue.
Silvestro goes straight ahead, and Greaser stays right with him. His job is to try and break the man down now. Silvestro's got to get to his feet, gets hand control, and he can get an escape like that. Now he has to set up a good move on his feet.
3-0 lead. There's the shot, there's the takedown. That was easy. 5-0 lead.
Well, it looks easy, but that comes from hours and hours and hours of practice.
Oh, it is easy. I mean, I'm not saying how he got that way, but I mean, it is easy.
If you perfect your moves.
You know, that's what made those Hamilton boys such great wrestlers, Vogue.
You think so?
You training them all those times? I figured he'd be listening, but he's not even paying attention next to me.
Tyrone always pays attention.
Oh, we got a chuckle. There's the escape and a takedown.
Escape and another takedown. Very methodical now.
7-1 lead.
Silvestro wants to roll the wrist back. He rolls the wrist back. Of course, one of the things that's missing in a lot of these repertoires this year, which worked so for so many years, was the Hamilton ride, which is rolling that wrist back, pulling the arm between the legs, pulling it back, lifting, and looking for the half. Now here you see a tilt.
Well, that hurt me just watching that move.
Yeah, when he went over, I think he banged either his ankle or knee, went the wrong way on that tilt attempt.
Now you're in a situation, if you're Greaser here, depending on how bad it is,
it's got to be.
Don't want to take a chance on hurting yourself too much, just forfeit this match.
Right, and he got 2 back points on that, and a lot of times you'll get 3 back points on that.
Let's take a look, Vogue.
So he's going for the tilt series here. He's going to roll through with this. As he rolls through, see the ankle get trapped below his body?
Yep.
Left ankle.
So it's now 9-1. And talk about wrestlers, you know, taking their lumps early on. Greaser's the same way. He was 1-5 as a freshman, 10-13 as a sophomore. Last year, 18-10, and now 26-6. Just getting better every year.
Every year. Progression, staying right in there, practicing hard. And again, Pittman, like Paulsboro, a small school situation. Greaser's trying to gut it out there. He's obviously in a little bit of pain with that ankle. 10.2 seconds left in this period. If he can't push off that ankle, it's going to be pretty tough out there. He's going to survive this period.
And he'll have his choice here in the third after Silvestro had choice in the second.
Yep.
Yeah. He's going to stand. Up, take top. And you can see him limping around.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge to try and hold Silvestro down.
9-1 lead as we go into the third period.
Silvestro to his feet, gets hand control.
Now 10-1. Injury time. He doesn't want it though. Reeser said no.
Says he's the trainer.
And now we have a situation, second injury time. Silvestro will have his choice.
Silvestro will have his choice with a second injury time.
Not as much of a factor in a 10-1 match as it was last year in that Bobby Flagel-Billy Sarasinski match in Paulsboro-Absegami. Remember that?
Yes. Trainer checking out the ankle because certainly Greaser showing a lot of courage here by continuing. Silvestro's choice.
Neutral.
Takes a neutral position.
10 seconds left of injury time, by the way.
Pretty interesting because he could have taken...
that was just so easy. And Greaser's really hurt. Can't move out there.
Oh, Greaser is
you can see the leg. Just holding the leg up like that. 12-1 lead Silvestro, now 12-2.
Greaser, his motive now is just to try and finish the bout.
Another takedown, 14-2.
Silvestro will cut him loose.
14, did they give him the escape? 14-3.
1 point escape. $11-point differential. Takedown, 13-point differential. Cut him loose. Oh, Greaser dives for the ankle.
Silvestro now going to try for some back points.
Well, it's 13-point differential, so if he gets 2 back points, it'll be a tech ball situation. We're going to cut him loose.
16-4, another takedown. 18-4, if he can cut him and take him down one more time, it's over. But he's just going to go, nope. They go out. So 18-4, 39 seconds. He'll cut him, try for one more takedown. That'll end it. If everything goes to script, 20-5. 36 seconds left, and there is the takedown, and that's the match. Final score, 20-5 with 33 seconds left. Alex Silvestro with the tech fall. Which Vogue brings us to our final match of the evening. The heavyweight, Bill Ardecki of Clayton High School, coming in 24-4 against Demetrius Hester of Paulsboro, coming in at 28-0. And speaking of Dancing with the Stars, look at Demetrius Hester's favorite pastime, Vogue, watching Dancing with the Stars. When you're that big, you can admit that you watch Dancing with the Stars.
That's right.
District 29, 189-pound champion from Paulsboro.
Of course, this is also, Vogue, a rematch of last year's final. Hester pinned Ardecki in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. And by the way, for Silvestro, a junior, 3 times in District 29, 3 times a champion.
Demetrius Hester from Clayton, Bill Ardecki.
That was the 334th district champion for Paulsboro.
And Hester's only been on the mat for, what, 32 seconds in this tournament, Vogue. It's now at 44 and counting. There we go, the big bear hugs. You like these guys. If I'm Ardecki, I go all out. Go all out. What do you got to lose? Go for it.
Absolutely. Ardecki comes in here, the number 2 seed, a senior, 24-4 this year, 49-9 in his career. Second here last year, as you mentioned. Demetrius Hester, the number 1 seed, 28-0 this year, 89-10 in his 3-year career so far. First in his tournament in 2004, 2005, and 5th in the state last year.
Almost. Nobody has anything here, though.
Yep.
Ardecki as well as Hester, both on the football team. 112 to wrestle. Final match of the evening.
And Paulsboro already with 8 champions crowned. Pittman with 2. Clayton, Clearview, and Deptford with 1 apiece.
on that leg. Let's see if he can finish it.
Gonna get motion. Got to get motion when you get the leg like that. Forward trip. Of course, Hester got to this point by getting a forfeit win in his quarterfinal, a 32-second fall against Darrell Pratt of Deptford in the semis. Hardecki, a forfeit win in his first match, and a 5:22 fall over Steve Connors of Pittman. Steve Connors won by medical forfeit over Darrell Pratt from Deptford, who was hurt in his 32 seconds on the mat with Hester. Hardecki moving well out there.
He's in a little bit of trouble right now, Boj.
Well, going to go out of bounds though.
The legacy of heavyweights of Paulsboro continues, Boj.
There's been some great ones.
Rough and Curl. Now Hester.
All the way back to the days of Bone Tower, Jimmy Horner, Scooby Baylor.
And that would be that Jim Horner, the old football coach, right? Of
Jim
Cherokee.
Horner, the Cherokee football coach, was a heavyweight at Paulsboro.
2-0 lead. We go into the second. The wrestlers starting neutral. Did not see who had their choice there.
All coaches are reminded to please hand in their outstanding wrestler nominations. All coaches are reminded to please hand in their outstanding wrestler ballots.
An old bear hug. This is my move right here, Boj.
You can lock it up and get a trip. Just like that. You go down to the mat, throw the half in, plant the man on the mat. Oh, my.
Oh, there goes that jacket, Boj.
Oh, brother.
That's
my.
2 minutes, 40 seconds. Demetrius Hester with his third district title. And so Paulsboro, since 10 to the finals, Boj, comes out with 9 champions. And just a terrific job ran in this tournament by the people that ran it. I'd like to thank the people of Gloucester County College, the District 29 tournament director, Steve Anishevsky, our crew. It was a great night of wrestling. We have a lot more coming up next week at Absegami High School. For John Vochting, I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you next time on Channel 5.
On your District 29, 275.